In 1836, a Comanche warrior, clad in buffalo hide and clutching a lance in his left hand atop a warhorse, waved a white flag to deceive settlers at Fort Parker, unleashing a raid that left scalps and screams in its wake, as T.R. Fehrenbach recounts in Comanches. The history of a people. The Iroquois, in deerskin tunics and gripping thorned clubs, struck rival tribes across 1,000 miles from Michigan to Tennessee with lethal precision. The Apache, faces painted for battle, bows drawn on galloping steeds, vanished into the desert after strikes that General Crook deemed the work of tigers of the human race. These native nations, numbering under 100,000, defied empires with unmatched resilience. How did their cunning and courage reshape the American frontier against such staggering odds? The Comanche emerged from the Shoshone people in the Great Basin, a vast region of arid valleys in the western United States. Their name, derived from the Ute word meaning enemy or one who always wants to fight, captured their fierce reputation. As part of the Uto-Aztecan linguistic family, their language shared roots with tribes across the American West. By the 18th century, their population numbered around 40,000, a modest size for a group that would dominate the plains. Their origins tied them to a nomadic lifestyle, hunting and gathering in harsh terrains, which shaped their resilience and adaptability. This foundation of survival skills prepared them for the transformative changes that would soon elevate their power. Spanish settlers introduced horses to North America in the 1500s, and by the early 1700s, the Comanche had acquired them through trade with neighboring Pueblo tribes and other plains groups. They exchanged buffalo hides and captives for these animals, which revolutionized their society. With horses, they expanded their territory from the Great Basin to the buffalo-rich plains of eastern Colorado and western Kansas, covering over 500,000 square miles. This mobility allowed them to hunt vast buffalo herds, sustaining their diet and economy. By 1750, each Comanche owned an average of 2 to 3 horses, a testament to their rapid adoption of equestrian culture, which became central to their identity and dominance. Comanche warriors developed a remarkable method for taming wild horses, showcasing their ingenuity. They roped a horse's neck, gently subdued it until it fainted, then revived it by blowing air into its nostrils. After cleaning the horse and trimming hair around its eyes, they fitted it with a headstall for control. The wild horse was paired with a calm mare to build trust, often staying close after being released. For riding, they led the horse into deep water or sandy creek beds to reduce bucking, ensuring safer training. This process, detailed in historical accounts, reflected their deep understanding of animal behavior, enabling them to amass herds that bolstered their military and economic strength. In battle, Comanche warriors were a terrifying sight, as recorded by William Blakemore, an Englishman who lived among them for 8 years in the early 1800s. Draped in buffalo hides, gripping lances or bows in their left hands, they rode with such skill that they could hide their bodies behind their horses, exposing only one foot. From this position, they fired arrows or bullets with deadly accuracy over or under their horses' necks. Their war cries echoed across the plains, striking fear into enemies. Women, too, rode with prowess, lassoing antelope and hunting buffalo, proving their versatility. By 1800, their mastery of mounted warfare made them a dominant force, feared by rival tribes and settlers alike. The Comanche's relentless raids, known as Comanche Moon by Spanish and Mexican settlers, crippled colonial ambitions. From 1750 to 1800, they halted Spanish expansion in the Southwest for nearly 50 years, attacking settlements with hundreds of mounted warriors. General James Wilkinson, a U.S. military leader in 1805, described them as the most formidable indigenous group on the continent. Their raids targeted men for death, abducted women, and stole horses, which they later sold to Spanish, Mexican, or American traders. In a single raid, they could seize up to 1,000 horses, as documented in Spanish colonial records, showcasing their economic and military dominance. The Iroquois Confederacy, known as the Haudenosaunee, united 6 nations: Mohawk, Oneida, Onondaga, Cayuga, Seneca, and later Tuscarora. By the 1600s, this alliance, centered in present-day New York, governed a population of approximately 20,000. Each nation contributed unique strengths. The Mohawk, in the east, held strategic trade routes. The Onondaga, in central New York, hosted the Confederacy's council. And the Seneca, in the west, provided military might. Their political structure, formalized in the Great Law of Peace, ensured unity and collective decision-making, making them a model of indigenous governance, admired even by colonial observers. Named Iroquois by their Algonquin rivals, a term meaning rattlesnake, the Haudenosaunee earned a reputation for stealth and lethality. Clad in deerskin tunics and wielding thorned clubs or bows, their warriors moved silently through forests, striking enemies before they could respond. By the 1650s, they had defeated tribes like the Huron and Erie, absorbing survivors or driving them out. Their ability to coordinate attacks across vast distances, up to 1,000 miles, showcased their strategic brilliance, as noted by French missionaries who witnessed their campaigns. Iroquois youth began military training at a young age, mastering bows, spears, and clubs by age 10. By their teens, they joined raids against rival tribes or, occasionally, European settlers, proving their courage to earn respect. Successful warriors could rise to become war chiefs, a role reserved for those with proven battlefield valor. In one documented raid in 1649, Iroquois warriors destroyed a Huron village of 1,600 people in a single night, a feat recorded by Jesuit priests. This rigorous training and hierarchical structure ensured a steady supply of skilled fighters, sustaining their dominance. The Beaver Wars, spanning the 1600s, marked the Iroquois' territorial expansion. They targeted tribes like the Susquehannock in Pennsylvania and the Huron around the Great Lakes, conquering lands stretching from Michigan to Tennessee by 1700. Their campaigns, driven by competition for fur trade routes, involved over 2,000 warriors at their peak, as estimated by colonial records. These wars weakened rival tribes, with the Huron losing nearly 70% of their population by 1650. The Iroquois' success lay in their ability to combine military might with strategic alliances, reshaping the Northeast's power dynamics. The Iroquois' unity set them apart, as seen in their alliance with the British during the French and Indian War from 1754 to 1763. All six nations coordinated their efforts, supplying over 1,000 warriors to British campaigns, according to British military logs. Their cohesion, rooted in the Great Law of Peace, was likened to a biblical principle. A threefold cord is not quickly broken. This unity allowed them to maintain influence over a region spanning 200,000 square miles, a testament to their diplomatic and military prowess, as praised by colonial leaders like William Johnson. The Apache, part of the Southern Athabascan linguistic group, inhabited a vast region from the Arkansas River to northern Mexico, covering over 300,000 square miles. By the 1700s, their population reached approximately 15,000, spread across bands like the Chiricahua and Mescalero. Their language, shared with Athabascan speakers in Alaska and Canada, reflected their ancient migratory roots. Living in rugged deserts and mountains, they honed survival skills that enabled them to thrive amidst powerful neighbors like the Spanish, Comanche, and later Americans. Apache warriors mastered guerrilla warfare, using stealth to devastating effect. Clad in breechcloths and armed with bows or rifles, they emerged from hiding to strike and vanished before enemies could retaliate. General George Crook, who fought them in the 1870s, called them tigers of the human race for their agility and ferocity. In one 1861 skirmish, Apache warriors ambushed a U.S. Ply cavalry unit, killing 20 soldiers in minutes, as reported in military dispatches. Their ability to exploit terrain made them nearly untouchable, even against larger forces. The Apache adopted Spanish horses and European rifles by the 1700s, enhancing their combat effectiveness. Warriors could fire up to 7 arrows in seconds, a skill documented by Spanish soldiers in 1780. Mounted on swift horses, they wielded lances and knives with precision, often outpacing cavalry. In a single raid in 1820, an Apache band covered 100 miles in one night, striking a Mexican settlement and escaping with 200 horses, as recorded in colonial archives. This integration of new technology showcased their adaptability and tactical brilliance. Apache raids relied on speed and surprise, covering vast distances on foot or horseback. A typical band of 50 warriors could strike a village 150 miles away, attack at dawn, and retreat before noon, as noted in Mexican military reports from the 1830s. Their knowledge of deserts and mountains allowed them to evade pursuit, demoralizing enemies. In 1850, Apache raids stole over 5,000 head of livestock from New Mexico settlements, crippling local economies. Their mobility made them a persistent threat to colonial powers. Despite pressure from Spanish, Comanche, and American forces, the Apache endured through resilience and adaptability. Living in harsh terrains, they developed strategies to survive on limited resources, such as eating roasted agave hearts during scarce times. By the 1800s, they numbered fewer than 15,000 yet resisted colonization for over 200 years, as chronicled by historian Angie Debo. Their unyielding spirit, forged in adversity, made them a symbol of native resistance, defying empires with ingenuity and determination. The Apache's resilience, outwitting empires across 300,000 square miles, echoes the Comanche's thunderous raids and the Iroquois' unbreakable unity. These tribes, with fewer than 100,000 people combined, defied colonial powers for centuries. Their warriors clad in deerskin or buffalo hide, wielding bows and lances with unmatched skill. Their stories are not just tales of conflict, but testaments to ingenuity, adapting horses, rifles, and governance to preserve their way of life. With deep respect, we honor the native spirit that turned adversity into strength, shaping history against overwhelming odds. Their legacy challenges us to reflect. How can the resilience of fewer than 100,000 native warriors inspire us to confront today's global challenges with such unwavering courage and unity?